What's going on, Bird Gang? Billy Carnage here, bringing you part 2 of the Madden franchise deep dive that I just did the other day on the channel. I want to say it was like 2 days ago, but before we looked right at the gridiron notes and we followed along, seeing all the different new things that were coming to Madden 22. And today we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look here at the home field advantages that were dropped not long ago whenever it comes to all 32 teams. So with that, we're going to go ahead and take a look here at the Bears. As we take a look here at the Bears, they got bear down. The away team's kick meter moves slightly faster, which that right there, it plays along with the Windy City. So as the home team, the Bears, they're used to practicing up there. They're used to the wind shifts, all that good stuff. So they completely understand, and your teams that come in, they're not too accustomed to it, so that's going to be one of those things. But before we go ahead and we continue to get into this, make sure to check out the Twitter, the Discord, and the TikTok, all three down below in the description, and join the Discord. I'm looking at starting up a Madden 22 franchise of my own. I got a couple guys already from last year's Madden that they're looking to be pretty excited about it already as well. And with that, we're just gonna go ahead. We're gonna get right into Who Day. No huddle results in in reduced clock runoff, which allows you to get back to that line faster, and you don't have to worry about the possibility of losing that precious time, especially if you're in a shorter league. You got some of the leagues run 7 minutes, like one that I'm in, a little longer, but still, whenever it comes down to crunch time, you got the 2 minute drill that you're trying to do. You want to get up there, you want to be able to call the plays, give you that extra time for any audibles that you want to do, and not have to really worry about what is going on with the clock. Next up, we got the Buffalo Bills. Downwind, the away team kick arc is hard to control, which, after doing a little bit of research, I realized that the Bills, it runs under the same situation of it's very windy up there in Buffalo, and it affects a lot of the kicks. So especially once you get into the wintertime where it's nothing but snow, you got plenty of snow swallows going around up there. So the away team, just like the Bears, they don't get to practice in that much, so it's going to be one of those, a slight advantage to the Bills, especially in close games. Getting in here to the mile high, guys. I can't speak. I'm trying to get this done. Let's keep rock and roll. If I stumble, so be it. But we got the mile high home field advantage for the Denver Broncos. Away team players have less stamina during plays, dealing with that elevation. They're used to being down here, when up there in Denver, you're a mile up. So, that's going to take a lot of, potential injuries into effect, players just getting winded. Hopefully they have the oxygen tanks ready. Getting in here to the Cleveland Browns and dog pound. Away team hot routes have a chance to fail in the red zone. We all know, even though they haven't been good for years, that the fans still come out. They still show up. They're still loud. They still have fun, even if they have bags over their heads. But the hot routes have the chance to fail in the red zone, require them to be made again. Receivers who are hot routed will temporarily receive a little question mark indicator bubble at the time of the hot route, to signify that they may not be sure of the route. So, you'll have to sit there. If you're one of those guys that, just like to sit there and smash buttons, get your audibles done really quickly, this here could be an issue for you, just due to the fact that, you're going to have to, it's going to mess up your rhythm, and you'll have to go back and fix that later. Looking here at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, fire the cannons. Pretty much with this, the home team players have their fatigue temporarily replenished while in the red zone. So, as we all know, Tampa, as soon as there's a score, they fire off the cannons from the boat. So, I don't know if that's going to be something that they're going to incorporate here in Madden 22, but, just that sure knowledge of, all right, we're down here, 9 times out of 10, we're going to score. So we're gonna have that extra boost not only from the crowd but the cannons as well. And getting right in here, one of the generic ones, the Arizona Cardinals rise up, Red Sea, home team gains momentum faster. Momentum's going to be a big thing in this game. Just from watching a couple of the other YouTubers out there, it's pretty easily gained, and it is just as easily to lose. So, you could go your first drive, go ahead and hit that first marker, but by the time you get the ball back, it could be swung in your opponent's way. So that's going to be something to have to figure out as well on how to go ahead and maintain that momentum throughout the entire game. Looking here again, another generic one. Bold up for the Los Angeles Chargers. Home team gains bonus momentum for yardage gained. So as long as you're moving the ball, you're getting some sort of yardage, your momentum is going to continue to rise. Taking a look here, home of the Chiefs. It's a big one. We all know Arrowhead is very, very loud. So with this, the offensive audibles made by the away team have the opportunity to fail. So I'm curious if this is going to take into effect that the possibility of leagues running the play cooldown, the play limits. If you go and call that play as the audible, will that possibly go ahead and ruin one of your opportunities to run that play? Or is it going to be one of those that, as long as you stayed in a hurry up in Madden 21, you were good to continue to run the same play, but your players would get tired. Next up, we got hat count. Probably one of the dumbest, home field advantages. I know they're trying to get all 32 teams to have something, but, hat count, come on. Home defense can see the hat count on all plays via Coach Cam. Come on, can't you count yourself? Getting in here for deflected, the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's funny. It's not really a big boost, but the away team punt distance is shortened when kicking across the 50, which that right there plays into all of that big ass jumbotron that they got there on the screen. Because last I saw, I'm not 100% sure if it's been beaten yet, but it did make the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest jumbotron throughout the entire world. Next up, getting into Miami. A lot of people don't know this, but Miami, their home team, they are under they have shade on their side of the ball. That is the only time that there is shade in that stadium is whenever it is over Miami's bench. So the home team will fatigue a lot slower. Getting in here to my team, the Philadelphia Eagles, while winning, the home team gains more momentum, the away team gains less, which, again, pretty self-explanatory. That's how it works, in any football team, football game. So, kind of is what it is with that. Nothing really special there because, whether you're winning or you're losing, we the fans, we boo you. You screw up, you're going to hear it. So, I'm not 100% on this one. Getting in here to the Falcons. We all know the Falcons are more of an offensive team, so they got rise up. Home team gains flat amount of bonus momentum on every offensive play. So the momentum it's divided up by little squares at the top, right above the scoreboard. Which again, this here is only in Madden Next Gen, because with it only being Next Gen, they incorporate the dynamic gameplay whenever you're talking about like the Xbox One and PS4, all that. They do not have next gen, so they can't bring in the dynamic gameplay. But that right there could be a big bonus, especially if you're one of those guys that like to hold on to the ball whenever you have it. Taking a look here at San Fran, you got unstable ground. Away team has increasingly hard time changing directions. Again, I don't know, at least off the top of my head, whether San Fran is one of those teams that play on grass or turf, but that right there will play a big change whenever it comes to the cuts and change of direction on your players. Getting in here to the Giants, pretty sure the Jets are the same exact thing. Away teams fatigue faster, which last season the 49ers called for an investigation on MetLife Stadium's field because they had 3 or 4 guys go down all with the same injury, and it was catastrophic for them. So getting right into Duval, they don't score many touchdowns, at least they haven't in the past. So home team gains bonus momentum on touchdowns. Those fans, they get into it, they have fun, and they want to see their team score. Getting right into the Jets, same thing as the Giants, away teams players fatigue faster. The Lions, home team accelerates slightly faster. Now, I don't know if this is something to do just in general with Detroit or what it is, something with their stadium. But, that extra acceleration, it's going to play big. Speed has always been, one of the big key components whenever it comes to Madden. So, just being able to accelerate just slightly quicker than your opponent is always beneficial. Here for the Packers. Go Pack, go. The frozen tundra. Home team gains more momentum. Away team gains less. Pretty standard. Away team fatigues faster and has a harder time changing direction. So, that right there plays into, winter months whenever, it's frozen. As it says there in the name, the frozen tundra. Getting right into the New England Patriots, our house. Home team gains bonus momentum on touchdowns and third down stomps. They prided themselves last year on that defense, and as they have the last couple years, even though there are a lot of veterans, that's enough to get that momentum going in their favor as far as getting off the field. And again, they had Tom Brady back then, so once Tom got the ball, he milked that clock as much as he possibly could, and it gave the defense that much more of a breather. The Raiders just win, baby. Home team gains momentum faster and has increased fatigue recovery while winning. This also plays into the Josh Jacobs, ability that he came out with in Madden 21, where, on big long runs, he had some of his fatigue, regained about halfway. I want to say, if I remember correctly, it was second win, but I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. But again, as long as you're winning, you won't fatigue as much, which, very beneficial. The Rams home team gains bonus momentum for defensive stops, which, it's different than the Chargers, even though they play in the same stadium. The Rams have always been one to pride themselves on defense with Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. You want to get them, you want to keep moving that ball, and you want to score. The Ravens, again, plays on the X factor of the quarterback, TRUZZ the system. Home team gains bonus momentum on every running play while winning, which you get up big, just run the ball. Lamar, if they kept it the same, I'd have to go ahead and take a look at the X factor. But with Lamar, if they go ahead and he rushes, 8 times for a yard, his X factor activates and he can't fumble. So, with this here, the TRUZZ the system, that right there will play in big time. And who dat? Probably one of my favorite ones, just because it does alter the game a little bit more. On away 3rd and 4th down conversion attempts, a random receiver will have an incorrect route when he lines up in pre-play. So, this here is going to make you want to, pay attention to the plays that you're calling and actually look at the play art, because you don't want to come out there and expect something and him run another route that you weren't there expecting, because that right there, easy way to throw interceptions. So next up, we got the 12s, the Seattle Seahawks. Random portions of the play art will allow for the away team offense will be squiggled and hard to read, which that right there, that is bringing back in the NCAA games to where, you're in there, you're the away team, you're playing one of the bigger conferences, the fans are into it. You're not going to be able to see it. All it is just a bunch of little squigglies. So, you're able to still read the route, but it makes it slightly a little harder. As, we're going to go ahead, we're going to take a look here at the keep pounding, the motto for the Carolina Panthers. The home team has more stamina during plays. That's been their motto for a couple years. I know whenever they went and just redid their jerseys, a lot of the spots, it says keep pounding right in it. Very, very faint, but it's enough to continue that tradition and keep their motto alive. Taking a look here at Pittsburgh, same thing as Cleveland. Hot routes have the chance to fail on 3rd and 4th down, requiring them to be made again. With that, you'll have the little question mark indicator bubble, right before you go ahead, and you'll have to go back in there. You'll have to remake that adjustment, and get it figured out. Actually, thinking about this, it's 3rd and 4th down. I want to say, if I remember correctly, it was in the red zone for um, Cleveland. So, so that changes it. Pittsburgh can happen all throughout the field. Cleveland only in the red zone. Taking a look here, the bullpen for the Houston Texans, not much. Away team gains less momentum for touchdowns. Not really much to talk about that. Pretty self-explanatory. And tighten up. This one's going to be very, very dangerous for whoever gets the Titans in one of these leagues, just because you already got Derrick Henry. Now the home team will avoid committing penalties whenever it comes to holding. So I don't know how that's going to play in. Like, if you can go ahead and you can put it on aggressive blocking and you still won't get, penalties. But either way, very dangerous. And then we got Skull. The Minnesota Vikings, the home team gains a small amount of speed rating in the red zone. All those guys are sitting there. They're doing a little skull clap that they do. Probably one of the dumbest things. They stole it from soccer. I tease my buddy about that all the time. He's a big Viking fan. So, of course, when Philly smacked the hell out of him in the playoffs the other year, he hated me. But, still one of the dumbest things as far as, little, cheering celebrations. But the extra speed rating, huge whenever it comes to Madden. As I said earlier, the more speed, the better. And to finish up, we got unstable ground. The Washington football team, away team has increasingly hard time changing directions, which goes back to the same thing with the 49ers. And, I mean, if we think about it, look at all the injuries that Washington has had, especially with their 2 quarterbacks. So, definitely something to be on the lookout for. And, hopefully your team, has a pretty good one. Hopefully you're not stuck with somebody like the Texans or the Colts that doesn't really have that good of a home field advantage. Just kind of, it's out there. But, continue, stay tuned. I got some more stuff coming. I want to say the next one of these that we're going to do, we might dive into Mutt. We might dive in, to, just some of the other gameplays here on the game. But we could also look at, for me, some of the possible, trades that I would want to do whenever it comes to franchise or even, one of the rebuilds. But as always, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. We're on the road to 300, and drop a comment here on the video. But until next time, peace.